You're listening to
Catholic Sprouts,
the daily podcast for Catholic kids that strives to plant seeds of faith. Hey there, Sprouts. Today is Friday, January 4th, 2019. It is also the feast day of a great American saint today. Today is the feast day of St. Elizabeth Ann Seton. St. Elizabeth Ann Seton is the first American-born saint. She is also remarkable because she was married, a mother of 5 children, and after her husband died, she became a religious. She founded an order, started a private Catholic school for girls, the first one in this country, and went on to give her life in loving service for children and those in need. So I encourage you to celebrate this wonderful saint, St. Elizabeth Ann Seton, today. This week on the Catholic Sprouts podcast, we've been talking about family, and we have been using the Holy Family as an example of this and as proof that each and every family is a blessed institution. We talked about motherhood with the example of Mary, the Mother of God, talked about the role of a mother, and also that we have a perfect, wonderful mother in heaven that we can run to. We also talked about fatherhood. We talked about God the Father and Saint Joseph, who was the father of the Holy Family. Yesterday, on the feast day of the most holy name of Jesus, we talked about how Jesus, one of the names that he was called on earth, was son or child. And by Jesus being a son in a family, we know that the role of being a child, a son or a daughter, is a blessed thing, and that we have a beautiful example in Jesus Christ and to follow and to make our role as a child holy. Today, we are going to go back and talk about the family in general. Now, I remember growing up, a lot of times we can feel that what we do in our family or with our family is unimportant. That the things we do at school, the things we do once we are grown up and move out of the house, that's what's important. And it might be easy to even think that's true about Jesus. We have just a couple of handfuls of stories of Jesus before he was a grown person and out doing his public ministry away from his family. We hear about the way that he was born. We hear that they had to flee to Egypt. And then we have one little story about Jesus getting lost in Jerusalem one year when he was still not very old, and how his parents had to go back and find him in the temple. But that's pretty much it. However, we know that Jesus lived for 30 years in Nazareth with his family. And he only spent 3 years out doing public ministry. However, all of the time that Jesus was on earth, he was truly man and truly God. And he was here showing us how to live and doing the work of God. Most people refer to these 30 years that Jesus lived that we don't know much about. We refer to these as the hidden years. And I think that's a pretty good description. Oftentimes also the things that happen in our family, we can also refer to as being hidden. They aren't necessarily public. The things that happen in our family, probably only our family members will know about. We can have inside jokes or stories that only our family knows about. However, we need to know that God blesses the hidden. He blesses the ordinary, and the things that we do with our family are important. In fact, if we are going to make any progress toward holiness, we are probably going to make that progress with or in our family. The time that we spend praying together with our family in our home is probably going to make a bigger impact on us than the things that we do publicly at school. The quiet things that we do at night, God is there, and we spend more time quietly in our family than we do elsewhere. And God has proven to us that He blesses the quiet, hidden life of a family. On Sunday, January 6th, we will be celebrating the feast of the Epiphany. Now, the Epiphany celebrates when the three magi who followed the star came and visited baby Jesus. He was still in the stable with his parents, and they offered him gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. So just imagine what this means. Jesus and his parents are hidden away. They weren't even allowed to stay in an inn. And yet, God led three wise men, three kings we sometimes call them, to this hidden little family, and they were given some of the richest gifts possible. God blesses the hidden life. God shines a light of love on the hidden life, which is what He wants to do to you in your family. And so, my friends, here is my challenge for you today. I actually challenge you to make a resolution for this year to pray for your family. Add it to your list of petitions that you say in the morning or at night. But you can simply say, Lord, bless my family and help us to grow closer to you. That's it for Catholic Sprouts today. We'll be back tomorrow, but until then, continue to grow in your faith and truly sprout into the beautiful creation that God intended you to be. One last thing, I'd like to invite all parents and teachers listening to this episode of the Catholic Sprouts to jump on over to YouTube and discover a new channel devoted just to you. Catholic Sprouts for Moms is going to be sharing weekly videos that will hopefully help to inspire you in your own faith journey and become better teachers of the children entrusted to you. That's Catholic Sprouts for Moms, and you can find the direct link in the notes for this episode.